Calling State of Wisconsin versus Joseph Jakubowski, 17 CF 655. Would you take the turn?
Your Honor, Assistant District Attorney Rich Sullivan on behalf of the state.
Commissioner, the defendant, Joseph Jakubowski, appears in person in custody by counsel Michael Shannon Murphy.
Now, what did you observe when you arrived on scene?
When I arrived on scene, I positioned my squad towards the front entrance, and be the southeast corner, with observation of the front door. I could see that the glass to the front door was broken out, and I could hear an audible alarm coming from inside.
And once you observed that, did you call for other officers?
Yes, I directed the other officers to respond to the back of the building to cover the other exits.
Eventually, did you go into the building?
Yes, once we had those other exits covered, a few other officers joined me. Prior to their arrival, the key holder, the business owner, had arrived and provided me keys of the business. And we made entry through the front door. We cleared the business, the interior, and determined that there was no one left inside.
Now, was there video capabilities on that building?
Yes.
And did you have an opportunity to review the video around the time period where you dispatched?
Yes.
And what, if anything, did you observe on the video?
And approximately on the video display indicates exactly 1 hour ahead of real time. On the video was 9:37, video time 8:37 real time. A Caucasian male could be seen approaching the front door of the business, carrying a black duffel bag in his left hand and a framing type hammer in his right hand. He approached the front door of the business, broke the window out with the hammer, put the hammer then in his left hand while he reached into through the broken window in an attempt to open the door from the inside. The deadbolt was unsuccessful, kicked at the door a few times, was still unsuccessful in getting the door open, and then dove head first through the broken window of the door.
Now, in the video, at any point in time, did you observe anything in which the defendant may have left, the person may have left his DNA behind?
Yes, when I had gone through, after we had cleared the building, we went through with the owner, who confirmed that several firearms were taken. While we were looking around the showroom, there's a metal stainless steel bar type stool next to the display case. And I observed a red stain on top of the stool that was consistent with blood.
Was there glass on top of that as well?
I don't recall.
Did you collect that red substance?
I did not. That was collected by Identification Bureau Deputy Paulson.
And I should have been more general. Your department collected that, correct?
That's correct.
And was that subsequently sent up to the crime lab?
Yes, it was.
And did you receive a test result from the crime lab, at least for an investigative lead on whose blood that was?
Yes, crime lab returned a lab report indicating that the source of the blood, or that the stain was in fact blood, and the DNA was linked to Joseph Jakubowski.
You see Mr. Jakubowski in the courtroom today?
Yes.
Could you point out where he's sitting or an article of clothing?
He's seated to the left of his attorney, Mr. Murphy, wearing a blaze orange jail jumpsuit.
Let the record reflect that this witness has identified the defendant.
Now, did you later have an opportunity to sit down and talk with Mr. Jakubowski?
Yes.
Did you ask him if he was a person who was seen in that video?
Yes.
What did he tell you concerning the theft of guns and the person in that video?
He admitted that he was the one that broke into the unlimited supply into the firearms.
Let me ask you this. Have you had prior dealings with Mr. Jakubowski?
No.
Were you able to identify Mr. Jakubowski when you looked at that video, that surveillance video?
The image on the surveillance video could not make a positive identification.
What other involvement did you have in the investigation of this crime, Mr. Bentley?
I was involved in the investigation from the second it came in to the dispatch center until interrogation at the FBI office.
Okay. I have nothing further for the witness. Thank you very much.
Any redirect?
No, Your Honor. Thank you very much.
Commissioner, I would acknowledge receipt of that document. I'd waive the formal reading of same and enter pleas of not guilty to the charges contained therein.
Okay, not guilty pleas on each count. Mr. Jakubowski, bond will continue and Judge Daly will step in.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank you. And off the record. Move as soon as you're ready for a camera.
I'll be able to see a couple.